episode 2 of our Work Ready 2021 Never Stop Learning series. My name is Hayden Laraji, Head of HR Shared Services for the Adecco Group Australia, and it's my pleasure to be your host once again. At the Adecco Group, we specialise in connecting job seekers with opportunity, and we're just thrilled to be collaborating with Microsoft and LinkedIn to bring you this series. Today, we'll be discussing a number of themes, including what skills you need for the top 3 jobs of 2021, how you can go about gaining these skills, and tips to effectively transition from one sector to another in order to remain employable. In a moment, you'll hear from our fantastic panel of guest speakers, including Matthew Lyndley, State Manager, New South Wales for Spring Professional. Matthew is a talent and recruitment specialist, having worked in this sector for over 12 years. Matthew has gone through a significant career transition himself, having moved from a career in the Defence Force into the corporate world. Based on this experience, Matthew has first-hand knowledge of the dynamics of career transition and learning new skills mid-career. Following Matthew, you'll hear from Jonathan Stevenson, Field Enablement Manager for Microsoft. Jonathan currently plays a key role in driving a culture of learning across Microsoft's employee base in Australia. Jonathan is responsible for employee development across not only technical skills, but professional skilling, manager capability enhancement, and onboarding new employees. We'll then hear from Mike Clark, Account Director for Modus Australia. Mike has over 12 years commercial IT recruitment experience and is committed to sourcing the best and brightest talent across the technology market. Mike specialises in recruiting individuals across project delivery and business transformation, and is passionate about diversity and inclusion in the workplace. Mike was also recently named as a finalist, Recruitment Consultant of the Year in the 2019 Seek SARA Awards. But now, I'd like to welcome our first guest speaker, Matthew Lyndley from Spring Professional. Today, Matthew will be sharing his insights on one of the top 3 jobs of the future, project management. Over to you, Matt.
Thank you, Hayden. Hello, I'm Matt Lyndley. I work for Spring Professional, which is part of the Adecco Group. I'm delighted to talk with you briefly regarding the Microsoft Skills Programme, which is available to you via the free online learning pathway with LinkedIn Learning. Project management has been identified as one of the top 10 roles needed now and in the future. But how do we know this? Well, there's a saying in project management that the numbers don't lie. And the number 1 job title that has been hired across all industries around Australia in the last 3 months is project manager. So why now and why into the future? Well, it's quite simple. Project management is essentially the art of getting things done at an organizational level in a VUCA environment. Now remember, simple doesn't mean easy. And this is why employers are going to need project managers. What's VUCA? Well, VUCA stands for, as you can see from the slide, volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. If you show me an industry or business that is not operating in one, if not all of the VUCA columns, then I'll show you an industry or a business rapidly slipping behind its own curve. For example, financial services. They operate in a highly complex and regulated environment and already know that future changes to those regulations are extremely likely, although they don't know what those changes are going to look like, making for an ambiguous future. But they still need to deliver products and services despite this. And this is where project managers come in. If you're the type of individual who derives satisfaction in bringing your key skills to deliver a tangible outcome, be that building, product, system, service, or perhaps a set of improved processes to deliver an efficiency, then project management should absolutely be a career path that you should explore. Let's talk about the key skills for a moment. There's historically and likely going to be a continuing trend for some project managers to possess first-hand exposure and tenure within the sector they are seeking work in. For instance, you'd perhaps be a little bit uneasy about living or working on the 30th floor of a building that had been project managed by someone who only joined the industry 6 months ago. However, skills like communication, budgetary management, business planning, coaching, leadership, and communication are increasingly becoming recognized as key skills. Previously referred to as soft skills, they're crucial components in successful project delivery. Remember, a project is rarely about one individual. I myself have run multi-million-dollar IT projects for over 700 end users working across 2 continents, spanning multiple time zones. I technically don't have a formal IT background, but I did understand what my end user group wanted as an outcome, and I can business plan, manage budgets, lead, and communicate. And the great news is that these particular skills are, largely speaking, totally transferable in the marketplace across most environments. You just need to add a foundation of technical skills. Several years ago, the recruitment industry entered new territory. We found ourselves recruiting for roles that had not existed previously, nor did they have a defined education or career path to get to those roles. This was across many industries, but especially in the IT, digital, tech, and operations space. This is a big challenge for employers, and it's a massive opportunity for individuals looking at upskilling in this space. So, how do you find your place in this new landscape? Well, employers are naturally going to look for recognized qualifications and/or credentials. And you can gain these credentials for free using the LinkedIn Learning Pathway for Microsoft Skills program. It's self-paced, it's video learning, and takes just over 17 hours. Let's take a moment now and look into the future. You've gained your qualifications and accreditations. It's now time to look for a new role in your chosen field. It's the time to invest in your LinkedIn profile, and the same goes for the rest of your social media presence. If you cannot be found easily as a professional with those skills, then simply you haven't spent enough time on your LinkedIn profile. Remember, we want to find you, so make it easy to be found. Also, networking. There are lots and lots of relevant groups on LinkedIn. Join them, contribute, and learn from them. Also, let current and former colleagues know about what you're doing now. Remember, great people always know other great people, and many, if not most, are happy to refer internally for job opportunities within their current organization. And speak with a recruiter. Get a sense of the local market. Now, admittedly, career changes can mean starting out again at a level perhaps not as high as maybe you once were before you return to that level, but your key skills combined with your new set of project management qualifications will make you a great prospective employee in your new field. Thank you for your time. I'd like to wish you the very best on your journey through the Microsoft Skills program via the free online learning pathway with LinkedIn Learning. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Some great tips there, and it's really easy to see why project management is predicted to be one of the top jobs of the future. I'd now like to welcome our next speaker, Mike Clark from Modus Australia. Today, Mike will be discussing the technology employment market, including how you can get your career in technology started. Over to you, Mike.
Thanks, Hayden, and hello, everyone. So we are now well into the new decade, and with it comes a flood of excitement for the changes and trends we will see in technology, software development, and data analysis. They have become more integral to nearly every sector of the world. So developments and changes in these disciplines have a vast impact on our lives. While we cannot always accurately predict what lies ahead for tech, there are some trends that we expect to continue into this new decade. So let's discuss a few. Software development and data analysis trends that we expect to see in 2021 and beyond. So we'll start with artificial intelligence. Though artificial intelligence has been around for many years, it continues to grow and enhance every year, becoming foundational to many technologies around the world. Developers predict that AI will continue to dominate as more industries adopt it in their infrastructure. The biggest trends for 2021 suggest that several industries will use AI for personalized experiences, assistance, and prediction services. AI will be the new competitive edge for industries across the spectrum, changing the way we think about human involvement and resources. Next is Python. Python predicted to rise alongside AI and ML, which is machine learning development. From machine learning research to video games development to web development, Python consistently proved to be a popular and well-loved language. Although the concept of the fastest growing language can be hard to pin down, data suggests that Python may just take the cake. Not only is Python used for a variety of popular fields and jobs, but it also has a low entry barrier and a supportive community fostered by the newest generation of developers. 5G. 5G may be the next big thing to open doors for developers. 5G entered the market fully in 2021. This exciting, faster network brings with it new problems for developers to solve. Despite the drawbacks and controversies, 5G has the potential to revolutionize handheld devices and open up doors for developers to get in on the ground floor of distributed technologies. It offers the chance for developers to work with more robust applications and augmented reality features. Overall, 5G is predicted to transform the world, from powering smart cities to improving traffic systems to increased capacity for network expansion. Coinciding with that is edge and cloud. Alongside 5G comes the potential of edge computing, a decentralized computing infrastructure. This highly distributed model of edge computing, sometimes called fog computing, may help overcome the disadvantages of cloud computing. These developments may be the future of computation and industry. Cloud computing proves vital to company infrastructures, and as cybersecurity concerns persist, large companies across all industries are moving towards the cloud as a solution. And then last but not least, Kubernetes. Along with the rise of cloud computing comes the rise of containerization applications. Here, Kubernetes has emerged as the clear winner. As cloud technologies continue to integrate with our world, Kubernetes will be an important tool for developers elsewhere. Research has already shown that Kubernetes' popularity continues to rise, and developers predicted that in 2020 we will see a rise in best practice and standardization, and that will only continue on. So what will be the next big industries that will be impacted and will need to utilize software development? So the top 5, we've got telco, pharma and healthcare, education, travel, and social media. These industries will want to anticipate the customer's needs and look at how they can actually anticipate where their next journey will take them. Prescriptive and predictive data will follow suit in that, and so will the need for software developers. So the reason why you've joined us today is to identify what skills you will need to develop within this particular area. IT has the power of transforming ordinary people to becoming extraordinary. The fact that you're listening to this right now means that you're already building one of the skills. Building key listening skills so your customers feel heard. Develop your customer service problem-solving skills, and learning to de-escalate challenging situations. That really comes with an inquisitive mind. And that's the reason why you're here today. The next area that we're going to be looking at will be data analysis. For starters, a data analyst often holds a slightly different title, such as a business analyst or a business intelligence analyst. Regardless of the actual title and the subtle differences between these roles, a data analyst is essentially someone who uses data to generate insights for an organization. Typically, they provide information that enables companies to define things such as products to be offered to customers according to their needs, marketing strategies to adopt, or the improvement to be made to manufacturing and production processes. In today's world, if you're looking to make use of your data, then a company would need a data analyst or two or three. The industries that will be affected with the rise of data analysis are finance and insurance, healthcare, manufacturing, professional services, and retail. Data analysts have been around for years. However, the demand for this role is making headlines in 2020 and will be continuing to do so in 2021. In 2018, the World Economic Forum published its predictions for the future workforce through 2022. In it, the WEF identified that by 2022, 85% of companies will have adopted big data and analytic technologies. WEF have also found that 96% of companies were definitely planning or likely to plan to hire new permanent staff with relevant skills to fill future big data analytics related roles across their industries. So definitely be on the lookout. So what skills will you need going into next year, specifically for these roles? You need to learn the technical and program skills for data analyst career paths. This will actually help you build your project management skills. It will improve your soft skills, including communication and teamwork. You'll develop your competencies in high demand analysis tools and build communication, teamwork, and problem solving skills. Also as well, I would like to mention, because it came up in a previous conversation, workshop, that cybersecurity seems to be a question on everyone's mind. What will cybersecurity look like going into 2021? What I can tell you is that this year has been a real emphasis, and going into 21, there's been a real emphasis on protection and privacy of data and information. 2021 will see an increase in the following roles: network engineering, ethical hacking, identity and access management, information security analysis, penetration testing, digital forensic analysis, and security software development. All of these roles can be found as you're going through the LinkedIn and Microsoft training through software development and data analysis. That's all that I can give you today. Thank you very much for your time. Greatly appreciate it. Over to you.
Thank you, Mike. Can I just say it's really promising to see the potential for new opportunities in data and emerging technologies as we head into 2021. Our next speaker is Jonathan Stevenson from Microsoft. Today, Jonathan will take a further look into the Microsoft Global Skills Initiative. Over to you, Jonathan.
Thanks so much, Hayden, and thank you, Michael, as well, for those wonderful insights earlier on project management. As Hayden called out, my name's Jonathan Stevenson. I work for Microsoft as a field enablement manager, which basically means I look after all things learning and development based in Sydney, here in this wonderful country. I'm thrilled, beyond thrilled, to be sharing the next 5 to 6 minutes with you to talk a little bit more about our Global Skills Initiative, our wonderful partnership with LinkedIn as well as the Adecco Group, but specifically highlighting this concept of building a currency of capability through certifications and credentialing, and why that's so important in today's economic and labour market landscape that we're all familiar with and operating in. So with that, let's get started. It's no secret that the COVID-19 pandemic has created one of the most tumultuous years that we've experienced in recent memory. If we have a look at the chart that I've highlighted here from the Australian Bureau of Statistics, you can see that the unemployment rate in Australia has absolutely skyrocketed to a peak of about 7.5%, reducing to just under 7%, but then creeping up again in October to just on that 7% mark. That's a huge challenge for a lot of people in the job market today and people that are listening in to this call when it comes to this concept of competition. So as more and more people are actively in the job market seeking opportunity due to unemployment, it creates a heightened sense of competition. And I assume if you're listening to this talk today and you're listening to me talk about Microsoft certifications, you're somewhere in that talent pool of either data analyst, IT support professional, IT administration professional, or software developer, or potentially you're looking at making a transition into that skill set in the near future. So data from LinkedIn tells us some really interesting insight about the impact these unemployment numbers are having on the marketplace today. And that's that out of the 160,000 professionals in Australia that make up that talent pool that I just talked about previously, 22,000 of them in the last 3 months have actively indicated on LinkedIn that they're open to new opportunities and open to work. This means that the competition for these sorts of roles at the moment is at an all-time high, unlike that we've seen in recent memory, basically as unlike that we've seen since these roles became so prevalent in different organizations across multiple industries. But the news isn't all doom and gloom. One of the most exciting things that's come out of COVID-19, if you can say something exciting has come out of a global pandemic, is the fact that we've seen digital transformation across a variety of industries accelerate unlike we've ever seen in human memory. We've seen digital transformation programs that usually would take somewhere between 3 to 5 years getting completed in 3 to 5 months, which is just phenomenal when you think about the rapid pace of innovation and the rapid pace of digitization that we've seen across a multitude of different industries as a result of response to the global pandemic, but also in recovery, looking at business models moving forward from the global pandemic as well. And the great news is Microsoft is predicting that these trends won't slow down. We'll see around about 2025, 149 million new jobs in digital, in technology across the world. So what we're seeing across all industries is every organization is becoming a digital one. And they're all looking at ways that they can further improve their operations, improve their delivery, improve their outcomes for customers, as well as ensure that employees are able to work from anywhere at any time. And we see those trends continuing heading into the future as well. So why am I highlighting this? Why am I spending time talking about unemployment rates, size of talent pool, and roles in the future when I promised you I'd be talking about certifications? What I want to highlight here is based on the fact that we have increased competition in the labour market and based on the fact that this huge amount of security in digital in the future, and we believe that demand will eventually outstrip supply by 2025, is we need to empower ourselves with a way to stand out amongst the crowd. We need to empower ourselves with a way that we can demonstrate to employers and prospective employers that we have capability, that we have transferable capability into these roles of the future, which are so going to be important moving into not only 2021, but all the way through to 2025. Now, I began the talk with a little bit of a buzzword line, if you like, around currency of capability. And I want to spend just a couple of seconds highlighting what I mean at this juncture. Currency, when I'm talking about currency, I'm referring to the quality of being generally accepted or in use across borders, across boundaries, across organizations, across industry. And when I'm talking about capability, what I'm talking about is the power or ability to do something. So when I'm bringing those two terms together, what I'm referring to is the quality or able to demonstrate in an accepted, in a manner in which is generally recognized across industry and borders, your capability as a professional when it comes to data, AI, software development, IT administration, and IT support. Which is why I'm so excited to be talking to you about Microsoft certifications. Microsoft certifications as part of the Global Skills Initiative program is such a wonderful way, an opportune way that you can demonstrate to employers your capability, your accumulated knowledge, and hands-on practical application of that knowledge through not only the learning pathways that have been talked about previously in this series, but also the examinations and hands-on workshops that are available as part of these learning paths. As part of the Global Skills Initiative, we announced that we've democratized access to these certifications that are typically about $100 in value, and made that fee as small as $15 for individuals to access as part of the program. Now, you might be asking, why $15? Why not make it free like other programs within this initiative? The $15, it goes towards our exam providers and the responsibility that they uphold to ensure the integrity of our certifications and examination resources and processes. So if there was a way in which we could reduce that, we absolutely would, but we're at a point where we're offering these examinations, these certifications at $15 based on your attempt. So let me take just a moment to explain to you, as you're looking at this slide, what we're talking about when we're referring to certification. We're offering 5 fundamentals certifications. So these are the baseline level of technology understanding in Azure, Microsoft 365, Azure Data Fundamentals, AI Fundamentals, and Power Platform. And we're also offering, in extension of those, a series of associate level certifications as well that you can see on the right-hand side here. Microsoft Azure Administrator, Azure Developer Associate, Azure Security Engineer, M365 Teams Administrator, Security Administrator, and Developer Associate, Microsoft Data Analyst Associate, Microsoft Certified Power Platform App Maker Associate. So a raft of available certifications to really bolster your profile as a prospective candidate and prospective person in the marketplace looking to either advance your career at your employer today or take up a new role either at a prospective employer, whether it be in the IT industry or in any industry looking for IT professionals. And the benefits of certification don't just extend to having this ability to showcase your skills. According to Pearson VUE, which is the organization that we primarily partner with to deliver IT certifications with regards to Microsoft, they've done an enormous amount of research in this space to determine what are the impacts or tangible career impacts for professionals based on certification. And some of the numbers here are just astonishing. 67% of responders as part of their 2018 survey of about 10,000 IT professionals said that the greater self-confidence and abilities. 55% said the knowledge was immediately transferable to real work situations. 44% reported a higher quality work output. 41% increased their job satisfaction. And really what's exciting there is 35% reported a tangible salary increase as a result of their ability to demonstrate capability through certification. So when I talked about currency before, I talked about generally accepted ability to showcase your capability. But the great news is that currency can translate to actual currency in your back pocket as a result of Microsoft certification or IT certification based on the report here from Pearson VUE. Now, you might be thinking, okay, this is all well and good from Microsoft's perspective, but who really cares about this? Who really is interested in Microsoft certifications? And how do I know that a prospective employer will be interested? Well, I've got some wonderful insight here, and it's a rather busy slide, but wanted to highlight some of the emerging trends that we're seeing in education. And this is something that I'm always close to as a person that works in education and something that I'm always keeping a close eye on. And really one of the most interesting articles that was actually released relatively recently via Inc.com said that authoritative certifications are increasingly replacing academic degrees. And consider using these to open up and get your foot in the door with regards to a new career. Now, that's astonishing. When we think about people going through career transitions, we think about the likes of your Qantas pilots that are thinking, what do I do next with my career, or any number of different professions that's out there. Some of them might have been thinking, I need to go back to university, I need to do a 3-year degree, I need to do all this work to get myself back into the job market and back into an industry or career that has security in the future. What we're saying at Microsoft is by taking on Microsoft certifications, by taking on these credentials in your profile and accumulating these credentials, you don't have to do that. Employers are recognizing certifications, IT certifications, in lieu of academic advancement. So it's a really wonderful opportunity for you to look at career transition and bolster your candidacy through certification. And it doesn't just rely on Microsoft. So I'm talking about working at Microsoft and working for technology organizations, but as more and more organizations partner with Microsoft, so the NABs of the world, as I've highlighted here, car manufacturers, Hyundai, AGL, vast array of different organizations across multiple different industries. As they adopt more and more Microsoft technology, it becomes even more valuable to them to bring in new talent with Microsoft certifications so they can ramp up quickly and deliver value, outcomes, and results really tangibly to their organizations as well. Now, we wouldn't be talking to you about certification if we didn't talk the talk and walk the walk ourselves. And so one of the things that I'll share with you as a bit of an insider look based on my role working at Microsoft is that we actually asked every single one of our employees, our own employees, to invest in Microsoft certification throughout the course of FY20 and continuing into FY21, such as the value and emphasis that we place on ensuring that you have the skills needed to be successful in our digital future. And you're actually going to hear a wonderful, insightful video from Cassie Jones, who works at Microsoft today, who will talk you through the impact that certification has had on her career. And I'm very excited for you to hear her story.
Look, starting in skilling, I think you have to do something you enjoy. I'm very much curiosity driven. So if something piques my curiosity, then I will look at it. I will look at how to actually do that course. The real key thing, find some joy in your learning and go from there. I started out doing IT support for the British Civil Service. When I started, I didn't have anything, no degree, no experience. And I was very fortunate back then to be able to be given a job to actually start to learn. Then did a computer science degree, and that really gave me the baseline and the breadth necessary to move my career forward. I found, once I got to Australia, not having certificates was actually quite a challenge. You need to prove to the recruiters and the people you're going to work with what you know. You then have to figure out, well, how are you going to keep learning? You can't keep going back and doing degrees. And that's where the credentials, the certificates from Microsoft and other vendors come in, because it gives you that opportunity to just grow a little bit more each time. That was my beginnings of the journey, my first Microsoft cert. And that was where I started to understand the value of getting credentials and getting a certificate to baseline where I am and what I know, but at the same time, getting real life experience. And that helped me broaden my experience and do a lot more capable work going forward. The IT industry is forever changing, so you have to keep going with it. You can't stop. And that's the value, I think, in doing continuous learning. I am just about to start on my 52nd Microsoft certification. You don't need to do it constantly. It's not a race. So just do half an hour at a time, maybe in the morning, maybe in the evening, and just slowly walking through.
So in summary, it all starts with Microsoft Learn. We've talked about the Global Skills Initiative. We've had wonderful colleagues of mine, as well as friends of mine through the industry at Adecco, share the great work that we're doing with LinkedIn and industry to provide and democratize access to these certifications for each and every one of you. https://learn.microsoft.com is your place to get started. We have more than 225 learning paths, more than 1,000 modules available to you. And as I highlighted before, a great number of array of certifications that are there at a heavily discounted price for you guys to accumulate and build your capability. If you're wondering how to take advantage of these great discount opportunities, the best thing to do is when you're on the Microsoft Learn page and you're looking at scheduling your exam, just keep an eye out on the third option that you see highlighted by a blue circle on the slide here. So for job seekers impacted by COVID-19, schedule for USD $15 as opposed to the standard 99 USD fee that you see on the right-hand side. So in summary, I want to finalize by saying it all starts with Microsoft Learn. We have 3 of these wonderful sort of role types that we have highlighted as part of the Global Skills Initiative that we believe will be in high demand, not only today, but in the future. Unemployment has driven increased competition in these roles as we speak today. However, how do you stand out amongst the crowd? How do you break down barriers to entry with regards to organizations? It's about building that currency of capability. It's about demonstrating and showcasing a globally accepted certification or credential that will demonstrate that you have the knowledge, that you have the capability, and that you can hit the ground running. I want to wish you all the best of luck in your job seeking efforts throughout the rest of 2020 and into 2021, and hopefully one day see you here sitting next to me at Microsoft based on the credentials that you have accumulated. I'm Jonathan Stevenson. Back to you, Hayden.
Thank you, Jonathan. Upskilling is just so important, and it's great to see the fantastic work that the Microsoft team are doing in this space. Hopefully today has provided you with some relevant information on the key jobs of the future, alongside some tips on what you can do now to get your foot in the door and secure one of these opportunities. I'd like to give thanks once again to our guest speakers today, Matthew, Jonathan and Mike, for sharing your valuable career advice and tips. I'd also like to remind everyone that we have event 3 coming up very soon. In this event, we'll discuss the importance of soft skills, how to promote soft skills on things like your LinkedIn profile and your resume, and how soft skills can advance your career. We'll send you an email with further details of this event, including how you can access the Microsoft and LinkedIn training. But that's it for today. So thanks once again and good luck with your job search.